Hey everybody, before we start today's video, just a couple notes here. I made a big mess. Yeah, the reason I made a big mess is because I was salvaging 2x4 dark bluish gray tiles from a different road mock that I made because I need those for the residential area because I'm replacing all of the white lines with dark gray because normally you don't see lines in a residential area. At first I didn't have enough, but after doing some salvaging, I had enough. Another quick note is in regards to the ramp or the sloped road that I built the other day. There's been a lot of feedback in the comment section in regards to that. And the general consensus is that should start closer to the entrance of the residential area, and it should be a slight grade, and the entire residential area should be sloped. And the houses should go up accordingly to the sloped road. I agree that is a fantastic idea. I think that's going to take a lot of brick, and every single building has to be modified, either has to sit on pedestals that line up with the gradual slope of the road, or the mills work underneath has to be modified, and also the grade of the road would have to have flat spots in it for driveway pull-ins, etc. So I think that project is a fantastic project for the future. But at this particular point in time, I just have too many projects going on at the Lego City, and I can't take on something that big. So I'm just going to run with the idea that I currently have in place today and try and perfect that and make that look good. And then we can keep that idea for the future. But I know how to do it, and I can visualize what you were saying, and I do appreciate your comments and suggestions. But at this particular point in time, I don't think I want to spend a lot more time on the residential area because it's already going to take a lot of time to perfect what we're doing down there, and to add a slight grade throughout the entire thing. I don't know how much time that would add onto the build, but a lot. And we've got a lot of other things that I need to focus on in the city. So for now, we are just going to move forward with the ideas that I presented in the previous videos. Hey everybody, well, what's going on? Welcome back to another Lego City update. Today we're going to be working on the residential area. The last thing we did in this area was build the road ramps, but boy oh boy, you can see some colorful bricks on the side. And I've also been talking about modifying these platform coverings for quite some time, and we'll probably be getting rid of this tunnel. So we're gonna have to build some stuff today in this video. I've got these platform coverings here, which are a bit shorter, and they're also recessed 2 studs into the base plate. So I think I've got to start by modifying these platform coverings, like all the way along here. Those have all got to be changed up so they match this one, or at least blend into that one. And we've got to take care of this. Also, we've got to reshuffle some buildings here, add some details, and just make this area look a lot better. So let's get started. Oh my gosh, I just had a funny moment. Well, maybe it's not that funny actually. So the first thing I wanted to do was work on the platform coverings, so I decided to bring them up to my desk here. We got the double one, and we got the tunnel one. And then we got the single one. Oh my gosh, I just dropped it at the top of the stairs, and it went tumbling down and just smashed to smithereens. I honestly thought the tunnel was one with the other. So I was just carrying it like so, and the tile gave out and down it went. So I guess that's one way to start the part out. Geez, you know, I filmed this intro at the end of my day, thinking, you know what, I'm gonna get a head start on tomorrow. And so much for that. Maybe I should have just went home, eh? That's hilarious. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to continue tomorrow. You know what? It's not too bad, not too bad. This is the jigsaw puzzle I shall leave myself. Yeah, pretty good. I just rebuilt the mills plate, so that was easy, and this is pretty much intact, so not too bad. Just rebuild the rock work, 2 studs back like I want it, and then go from there. Maybe I'll just do the same with this huge section. I'll just huck it down there and... No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be easier just to peel everything off and move it back 2 studs. So this morning I was a little bit more cautious, and I brought up some more modules. We've got this one right here, which is part of the zoo. And then this one over here, which is that unique T-junction. And then just a few smaller ones like this half base plate just to make sure my alignment was right, and this little quarter base plate here, once again, to make sure the alignment is right. And what I did was actually I just removed this platform covering and I shifted it back 2 studs, and I actually just made some colorful brick pillars on the back. And then I put some bricks bridging from the rocks onto the colorful brick pillars. And I think that's gonna work because rather than moving all of the rocks back, I feel like if it gradually comes out, it will more naturally blend in with the rocks that we have over here that transitioned into the backdrop for the zoo. It feels odd putting all that work into like shifting these backward 2 studs, but it's just something that needed to be done. The reason they were 4 studs forward in the first place is because that better accommodated the old raised platforms in the basement. But for some reason, when I migrated them over here, I didn't switch them. So now they all go flush up against the edge of the base plate. So what I did was just created a little substructure right here using some bricks, and I stretched some 1x16s across in light gray, and then I put some 2x2s there to extend it. I built that wall up, and then I put some more bricks in front of that wall, and then I built it up using dark gray, just like that. Got to go through and add some more pops of color in there, like light gray and green and all that. But then I bridged across here with like the white railing that I use by the botanical garden, and I actually kept that consistent all the way along. I built this up 2 bricks though, because the green plate on this side actually had to be built up 2 plates, so to make it consistent with the elevation of the raised platform. But that should work for these like 3 sections. We've got 1, 2, and also the zoo section. I just want to go like test fit it, make sure it does. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. I think the grass lines up with the road, which is good. And I think that's just beauty. It's going to work out nice. Now I do need to connect the water from that little creek up there to the bottom canal, but I'm not going to take care of that today because that's not really residential related. But I'm not going to have to destroy everything in order to build that because I am going to do the spout idea. So I just have to like peel apart the bricks, put in a spout, and have the water shooting out into the canal. And I think that'll be a fun little story. One other thing is we're dealing with wood structures here. Like this is a wood structure, and this table system is a massive wood structure as well. So there is a little bit of height variation because the floor isn't perfectly level. So you're going to see little gaps and stuff between the modules, even though they're built flush with one another. My end game like project is to go around and find all those little gaps that were caused by the wood structure, and once everything is finally placed where it's supposed to be, and just fix all those little gaps with Lego bricks. So that's what I'm going to do there. I don't know what it is, everybody, but getting the math of this right took me forever. And it made a huge mess upstairs. Oh my gosh. Just like getting the arches evenly distributed so they go up. You see that? They start up here and they go down. They start down here and then they go up. And just like ripping that all apart, and just using the trial and error process took me a while. Because this goes up about 6 bricks, and then I had 32 studs, and then just getting everything right. I don't know what it was, but it took me a while. And that's what it looks like in the inside there. So blended in with the green plate. Yeah, a little bit of gap there, like I was mentioning. Just nothing really holding this plate in right now, just because the hill isn't built on the other side. So that'll be the next thing I want to build, something on whatever plate is going to reside here so it actually holds this in place. And then you'll see right there, there's like exposed wood and exposed mills and this weird sidewalk on the side of the Simpsons house. So I'm going to have to tinker with that. And in order to do that, I've got to come up with a new layout. So let's just take care of that right now. Why not, right? I want to move that school. I want to give that school a bigger grounds, and I want to get those base plates that were behind the school in front of them so that we can actually see the playground and stuff that we plan to build. So I swap up the position of the school, the Simpsons house, and also the McAllister's house, just trying to come up with a new layout so that we can give that wall that we have to build up against the elevated area more breathing space. And I think that is going to work better. We're going to have 8 studs on either side of the school and 2 base plates in front, so we can create an awesome park. I did get rid of that activity center just to make more space up here for the school and also blending in that elevation change. Also, the activity center looks very similar to the school, so it doesn't really need to be there. Now, the next change I'm doing is I'm actually moving those black roofed buildings, that's the Creator 3-in-1 house and also the Dursley's house, down to where the red roofed buildings were, and then I can put the red roofed buildings where they were because those actually span 3 base plates, which is the width of that area. So I think the changes presented in this time lapse here are very positive. I think this is a way better layout, although not much changed. I think it is substantially better. So as you saw at the beginning of this video, I've got good news, everybody. I replaced all of the 2x4 dark gray tiles with the white line. I was able to do that because I salvaged and salvaged and salvaged, and I even stole some from the train tracks as well. So I said, you know what? Let's get her done. Let's make a big mess. Let's find all the dark gray tiles that we require to make that change, and I already went through and popped them all out and replaced them with the dark gray. I also did a bunch of other stuff down there, so let's check it out. Starting off with the school here, I fully mills plated the 2 base plates in front and also the 8 studs on the side, so that just cleans it up. And then I added the sidewalk. It had to be angled, so I put these like curved pieces on the side. I thought that was sort of different. It could change when we actually get around to building the playground, which will sit in front of the school. And on the 2 base plate module right here, there is a masonry wall that turns the corner there and goes up against the road. I might add some slopes there, some light gray 1x2 slopes, I guess, and tile that off. I might clean it up, and I might tile off the retaining wall along the back. And then the retaining wall actually continues all the way along. I was thinking maybe a hill, but then I was like, okay, well, maybe a retaining wall, because then we have a bigger area for a playground. Maybe this is where we can put like a soccer field or, you know, just swings, monkey bars, a playground of sorts. So I think that leaves more space for a playground, and I think that really does work. I think retaining walls are quite common, right, in real life. And look at that, all the lines are gone. I did decide to keep the line up against the curb. I think it adds more structure to the road. It makes it look visually better rather than just a big gray road. And also you get the details of the line breaks for the driveways. So I think that works out. Now I got these tiles by removing the tiles from the Simpsons, so right there. And I also fixed up this fence and replaced some of the gray plate, so that's much better. Now the Simpsons yard, if you look it up on the TV show, it's pretty plain. That's why it's just a big open yard. But I could add some more details there. And anywhere that you see green space, I do plan on adding more trees and all that as well. I also fixed up these 2 roads, so the T intersection is now in the right spot across from the McAllister's house. I didn't get rid of the sidewalk, like the crossings, because I don't have any more of the 8x16s, but when I order more of those, I'll probably eliminate some of these because they don't need to be as frequent as they are in this area. But it is good to have some crosswalks throughout a residential area. But there you go. I think this side looks pretty awesome. Yeah, it's pretty clean. And on this side, we've got Carl. I think he's a little bit happier. You know, he moved them over 16 studs. He's got the retaining wall along there. So that works out. It's not infringing on his property too much. I did try and move this one over there, but then this just didn't make as much sense. So I think the up house is best in that position. There's no space for it over by the construction site, and I just want it in the residential area. There is a bunch of details that I need to add to this entire area. I need to add street lamps, mailboxes. What else would you see in a residential area? More minifigures, of course, more vehicles, and just all those normal details that we usually put throughout the entire city. Also, I need to build like more fence lines on the back of these houses, tidy up some of the exposed studs. I want to add more trees and texture and vegetation and bushes and everything to the houses themselves. I've got to get this car up in the air for sure. All of that is going to take quite a bit of time, so I guess I'm going to have to do that another day. I had a lot of fun today improving the residential layout, but there's just something about custom Lego city building that takes so much longer than one would expect. Like, I even came in here today thinking, okay, I'm going to get the platform coverings all modified. I'm going to fix the masonry work on top of that. I'm going to work on replacing all of the tiles. We're going to shift everything around, fix all the road plates, build a retaining wall along the elevation change, and get all the detail work done as well. But clearly, like, that is just, it's just a lot, because there's the ideas and concepts and trial and error and just the giant mess that it creates as well. But either way, I mean, I think we made some tremendous progress here today. It looks a lot better than it did at the beginning of the day, and I love it. I think this is going to be great. This is definitely the layout that we're going to run with. Of course, we could do different layouts in the future with that ever so slight grade making its way up to the high ground, but let's just run with this for now. Let's detail this here, work on something different in the Lego City, maybe finish a couple more projects, maybe more than just a couple, and then maybe look to improve things that are already quote unquote done. Because that's the thing with Lego, right? You can always improve things or change things in the future. But for now, I'm really happy with this layout. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Bye for now.